Sihle Ndlovu, from Tembisa, co-founder and CEO of Indaohub. Indaohub is a property management software offering property listing services, tenant screening and tenant management to the affordable property market. So we basically looked at areas like the South African townships and the old CBDs, and we found that there is no platform that is serving that market. And we figured that it would be good of us to come up with a solution which would serve it entirely, because right now there is no system that is currently serving that market. So that's how Indaohub came about. Revolutionize the township and make it come into the right standards, because the South African real estate industry is way far in terms of technology, but the township is still way behind. So the idea really is try to mesh the two and make people who are sort of less fortunate kind of afford or have the same benefits that everyone is having in South Africa right now. That's how Indaohub came about. Difference between traditional and modern. I would say traditional ways of advertising were just spreading the voice that a certain property is available and you would give them your number, but people never had the privilege of even seeing the pictures of how it looks like before they went there, seeing what features it has before they actually went there. So it would be room available at the so and so address, and then the contact details. But the modern ways, I'm now talking about having the privilege of seeing it before you actually go there, making the decision before you go there, because all of this is just a process of decision making for both the two, the landlord and the property seeker. So the modern ways would be then showing the property before you actually call in the person. So you can actually screen them before they come and see the property. So you can, both of you guys can decide if this is what you want or this is what you don't want before you actually meet up. So which saves time and a lot of money, because you understand that if you're to hear a voice that, look, there's a property somewhere, first of all, you'd have to travel to that place. So that's what happened traditionally. But in the modern era now, we actually, in fact, you can actually do a viewing online, but it's technology we haven't introduced as yet. But we're working on technology that can allow people to actually do a virtual viewing without even going there, but they can see all the property features. So yeah, that's what I mean when I talk about traditional versus modern. So Indaohub has impacted the South African real estate industry in a very positive manner, in a sense that right now there is a platform where people can go and search for affordable properties and filter their searches. There is a market for those landlords that were struggling with connecting to tenant. For instance, if I may make an example, one of the significant issues in acquiring tenants is the screening. They were not getting the tenants that they wanted. They were just getting whatever that came. So now when Indaohub came, we were able to give them the opportunity of screening tenants and actually getting the tenants that they wanted for their properties, obviously depending on their values and needs. So yeah, we've had quite a significant impact on the South African real estate industry, especially the township, because you will note that it's very old and it's been very traditional. But however, now it's sort of catching up with the real estate standards of South Africa, and new opportunities are coming in, because obviously when we came in, we never thought that we were bringing opportunities for the South African agents, because they were not participating. Most of them were participating in urban areas. But now that there is a market which is like a central point of the market, so now the agents then have an opportunity now to also establish themselves in the townships, but not necessarily agents, even property management companies, they're able to brand themselves, because Indaohub is here as a central marketplace for the affordable property market. As a landlord, if you want to advertise your property on Indaohub, you obviously go to indaohub.co.za, you sign up, and after you sign up, you add property. So it's a simple one-page form which will ask you about the price, the location, the core features. So core features I'm talking about, how many bedrooms does it have, how many bathrooms does it have, and how many parking space does it have. And after that then comes the amenities. So That's your pool, whatever special feature that your property might have, and then you submit property. Then immediately our team is going to contact you and train you or give you whatever help, or maybe assist you with whatever feature that you might have missed, and ask you the relevant questions about property so that they can know exactly what you need, and then they can filter your property to the direct market that you are looking for. So we've got different subscription models which one can use, obviously, because we don't know what your needs are. Maybe you just want to advertise your property. In that case, what I've mentioned would be ideal. But in a case where you want a particular tenant, so then it means you have to subscribe to our screening service, which would mean you list your property, but furthermore, you then describe and tell us, okay, so these are the questions I want to ask the people who are going to be applying for my property. Say, for instance, with screening, there are 3 types of tests that we do. We do the identity test, the affordability test, and the personality test. So identity test, I'm talking about male or female, tribe, where they're from, and how old are they, and then so affordability test, how much do they earn, can they afford your property, and the personality test, what kind of a person are they, do they drink, are they a church person. So obviously those are the things that you'd want to know before you bring in someone into your property. And then so I think those are the two major phases of listing with us. It's either you just want someone to occupy a property, or number 2, you want a particular person, and then so that's when then you bring in the screening. So as a landlord, that is what you need to do to advertise with us. But otherwise, you won't go through the journey alone, because as soon as you touch submit or register, our team will be in contact with you, and they will help you and they'll guide you through all the processes. As a tenant, also it depends on what you want, because our filter is dynamic in a sense that you can search for whatever you want. So we've covered most of the townships in South Africa. So let's say, for instance, you want a property in Tembisa, you can specify what kind of property you want, the budget you have, and the amenities that you want. And then if maybe you've got special requests that you maybe may not be covered on the search, then you can subscribe to our notifications page, and then so as soon as you subscribe, for instance, then you register for property alert. When you register for property alert, our team will get into contact with you. Since you are telling us, that's when you tell us that in fact you didn't find what you're looking for, our team will get in contact with you and ask you what is it. Let's say, for instance, you want a place next to the Gauteng station, or particularly the taxi rank. Obviously, such instances cannot be covered on the website. But however, if you call us, or when you make the request, we can get back to you and communicate, and then try and make the right recommendations for you. But however, if your search is basic, so as soon as you search, system will give you direct access to the landlord or the lister. Sometimes it's property agents, sometimes it's the landlords. So when you get direct access, that is when then you initiate the conversation with them, depending on whether they want to screen or not. If they want to screen, they will provide you with the form, and then you'll fill in the form, and then they will decide whether they want to have you as their tenant or not. But if they don't want to screen, you'll just get direct contact, and then you guys will then communicate on when you meet each other and view the property. I think, but I would want to encourage the tenants or the property seekers that you must always go for viewing. Avoid paying in advance or making a payment before you actually know if the property suits your needs or not, because it's sometimes what you see on the pictures is not always what you see when you go to a particular place. Maybe there's something that was not shown, maybe the street is busy, you don't know. So I think in using Indaohub, because some of the things we cannot really cater for, we can't show you everything. So when you search, just make sure that we emphasize viewing the place, meeting the people, seeing the landlord, and feeling the environment. And then when you get that invoice and you pay knowing that, no, I really love this place, and avoid things such as paying because of desperation or doing things in a rushing manner, because I think most of the complaints, that's when things go sideways, when we do things. I think take your time. The significance of tenant screening. I think part of our values and mission statements is that you want to add care to your property, and you understand that you made a huge investment in when you decided that you want to come into your property space. So I think most people regret tenants not screening their tenants when they had a phase where they have to evict someone, or maybe someone has missed rent payments by a few months, or maybe this person is just not the right kind of person that they wanted initially. So I think tenant screening sort of saves you from all of that pain. So then you know that the issues that you experience when someone is already in your property are issues that maybe you never saw coming, or you at least try to avoid, because some issues are basic and they can always be avoided. For instance, the affordability test. You want to know if someone can really afford your property, and most of the times we use a measure of 30% of the person's gross income, but I think it's a standard measure in South Africa anyway. So for example, whoever comes into your property, say your property rent is 3,000, so at least let them earn 10,000, and then so play around that figure, because then if you don't screen, you do not know if the person affords your property or not. If all you wanted was a tenant, then bringing them in, then now you have to carry the risk of forfeiting rent, which then sometimes can negatively affect your investment. And I don't know, obviously, which methods you would have used to finance the project. So try to sort of avoid all of these problems and manage risk. Then tenant screening then saves you from a lot of things. Whatever issues that comes afterwards, it's issues that basically come out of nowhere, and you had less control in controlling them. Why should landlords use Indaohub? I think it's the only platform right now which is serving the Township market and the all supermarket. So basically your affordable properties market, anything between 800 and let me say 7,000, because the majority of our properties are around that range. We obviously have properties which are above the 500 price range, but yeah, I think right now in South Africa there was no straight platform that afforded that service. So we've got our audience now. So we've got a very large audience of people who are looking for properties within that price range, and our audience is growing every month. So I think one of the reasons why one want to use Indaohub as a landlord is primarily that it's tailored for affordable properties. Its features and amenities are what you would find in those properties, and also it allows them to screen. It's very affordable, and it allows them, it gives them what's out there at very, very low prices, because you understand that they're participating in the affordable property market space, so our price as well must match that. So I think that would be the reason why, because it's the only platform that's existing and that's big right now. If you want to search us on Google, it's www.indaohub.co.za. So Indaohub is INDAO, so it does not have a W. So it's Indao in Zulu, meaning place. So yes, and then the hub. So it's basically the place where you find everything you need. So Indaohub.co.za. WhatsApp number is 064 126 7590, and then on social media platforms it's just Indaohub. Search Indaohub, you will find us, and then we'll get in.